of the University of Colombo School of Computing, I warmly welcome all of you to Flag Hunting 101, a Capture the Flag Guide, the first workshop of our GenZipher series. I'm Jude Hevagamade and I'll be your moderator for today's session. Now, if you are here wondering what exactly is a CTF or how do I even start, you're in exactly the right place. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to understand where this initiative comes from. The University of Colombo School of Computing, established in 2002 under the visionary leadership of the late Professor Emeritus V.K. Sambaranayake, stands today as Sri Lanka's premier institution for computing education and research. UCSC is the first higher education institute in Sri Lanka dedicated exclusively to computing, and a pioneer that shaped generations of software engineers, researchers, and technology leaders, and a place where theory meets real-world impact. Building on this strong foundation is the CSSL GenZipher chapter of UCSC. This chapter is a youth-driven extension of the Computer Society of Sri Lanka, created to bridge the gap between academia and industry, and to expose students to real technologies, real challenges, and real professionals, and also to create a platform for innovation, collaboration, and continuous learning. And GenZipher is one of the flagship initiatives born from that vision. So, what exactly is GenZipher? Is it just another hackathon? Not really. It's a hybrid competitive experience that blends competitive programming and CTF challenges and also real-world engineering and development. And here's the twist. Participants don't get the theme upfront. Instead, you uncover the hidden development theme by solving CTF challenges. Only then do you move on to build your solution. So this mirrors real-world problem solving where requirements aren't always clear, and your ability to explore, analyze, and infer becomes a competitive advantage. So now let's talk about why today's workshop is important. For many students, CTFs feel overwhelming and too technical or simply not for beginners. So this session, Flag Hunting 101, is designed to change that mindset. By the end of today, you'll understand how CTF challenges are structured. You will know how to think through a challenge step by step. And most importantly, you'll walk away with a clear strategy to approach round 1 of GenZipher. So think of this as your foundation session, the place where confusion turns into confidence. So before we move ahead, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the partners who made this session and the entire GenZipher initiative possible. GenZipher is built on strong industry collaboration, and we are grateful to be supported by organizations that believe in nurturing the next generation of tech talent. We are proud to recognize our platinum partners, Vital Hub and Info, whose support plays a critical role in driving this initiative forward. Our gold partner, ITC, for standing with us in empowering student innovation. As one of our platinum partners, Vital Hub shares a strong commitment to technology, innovation, and impactful solutions. To give you a better insight into their vision and work, we now have a short video from Vital Hub. So let's take a moment to watch it.
Vital Hub is a leading software company dedicated to empowering health and human services providers. Our clients include hospitals, mental health and addiction service providers, long-term care facilities, and community and social services organizations. Headquartered in Canada, we serve a global client base across UK, Canada, Australia, and other geographies. Our highly versatile staff enables us to support a diverse range of clients and adapt to rapidly evolving needs across regions. At the core of our global operations is the Vital Hub Innovations Lab, our offshore development hub based in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Inaugurated in 2007, the Innovations Lab plays a critical role in driving our technological innovation and operational excellence. It is home to a team of professionals specializing in software development, quality engineering, customer support, infrastructure, cybersecurity, and cloud operations. Over the years, the Innovations Lab has grown into a dynamic and collaborative environment that fosters creativity, innovation, and continuous improvement driven by a strong people-first culture. Together with a strong global presence and a deeply integrated team, Vital Hub is committed to transforming the delivery of health and human services, improving lives through care and technology.
So thank you to Vital Hub for that inspiring message and for supporting GenZipher. Now let's continue with today's session. So in this session, you can expect to learn how CTF challenges are structured, the core skills and tools used in CTF competitions, practical approaches to analyzing and solving problems, and a clear roadmap to prepare for the online selection round. So I encourage you to stay focused, take notes, and think actively throughout the session. It's now my pleasure to introduce our official facilitator for today's workshop. We are joined by Mr. Vatsala Vishwajit, a software engineer at Altrium and a passionate technology professional with hands-on industry experience. Mr. Vatsala has worked across modern software stacks, including Java, Angular, React, Scalable, real-world application development. Beyond development, he is also actively engaged in the cybersecurity and professional governance space. He has served as one of the past presidents of the ISAFA student group at UCSC, where he played a key role in promoting cybersecurity awareness, structured learning, and industry-aligned best practices among undergraduates. So his involvement with ISACA reflects his strong foundation in security thinking and governance, which aligns perfectly with the analytical mindset required for CTF competitions. So this combination makes him exceptionally well-suited to guide today's CTF session. He also regularly shares technical insights and learning experiences on LinkedIn, helping bridge the gap between what we learn in classrooms and what actually happens in the industry. Today, he'll be guiding us through what CTFs really are, how to approach them logically, and how you can start hunting flags with confidence, even as a beginner. So without further ado, let's step into the world of CTFs. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Vatsala Vishwajit. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Let me share my screen first and we'll begin our session. Okay. Jude, I might need to reopen this Zoom and come back. Let me give a few seconds
Okay, sure.
to do that. Sorry, everybody. Yeah. Hope you guys see the shared screen, and I'm audible
Yes, you are
enough.
able. Yeah.
Okay. So about the CDF. So this session is about what is the CDF, and what are the expectations of a particular CDF. So idea of a CDF is to you need to learn how to invade before you can protect. So think of it like it's your home. You have to think like a thief in order to protect your household. So you can see how a thief would think. So let's say if your window doesn't have grills, a thief would definitely think like, okay, I can smash the window and then get into home. Then when you see that, you will say, okay, I will install grills and I will lock my doors properly, like that. So CDFs are kind of like a fun way to interact with our computers, because this is our like information age, right? So now before the computers, all the information we had stored in the files and in the paper as a physical. So when you're talking about security, the parameter security or the physical security of that particular place was enough to protect the information in that particular vicinity. So let's say it's an office, you want to protect your documents, that office security, let's say in your door, the security guard or your fingerprints was enough. Now, when it takes to now information age, now everywhere we have information in your phones, in your laptops, in your basically online cloud accounts, like Google, Drive and your iCloud accounts. Everything is like we can't touch them now, the information. So it's out there. And with that, what happens is like you have to think more broadly and more securely for this thing to happen. So when it comes to CDFs try to make like kind of like a fun puzzle-like games to educate, plus you hone your skills in these security perspectives in cybersecurity. So when it comes to capture the flags, there are like different kind of uh, styles of capture the flags. So mainly you will get most of it like a Jeopardy style. What it happens is like you will have several categories of security challenges. Mainly those are like web forensics and cryptography and reverse engineering. So they will give like multiple list down of challenges that you can go through. And also it shouldn't be definitely a list of, but it will have many categories. That's the Jeopardy style one. And another fun one is like the attack and defense. So one in the corporate world, I think I haven't practiced it myself, but I've heard like there's a red team and blue team kind of things going on. So so the red team is kind of like attack one, and blue team is like the defense one. So mainly they will have two kind of like servers. They would have to attack the other one, and other people, like the other team has to defend that particular attack and identify the vulnerabilities and patch them up. And the fun thing about the third one is King of the Hill, and they have like one server. Then everybody tries to get into that one and tries to keep the other ones out of that particular server. So what they have to what they can do is like they have to get in, they have to hack into that particular server, and then they have to patch the other vulnerabilities that other teams cannot get into. So you need the information, the knowledge of attack plus the defense. So every challenge is here is like to educate and have fun, and also it can be very helpful in your kind of like career going forward, because the security perspective of things. So as I said, the Jeopardy style categories, we have like OSINT. So a little bit of OSINT is like it's in sense open source intelligence. So what happens is like Google search, your Facebook search, and let's say reverse image search. Those the CTF makers hide the information in the web to be able to find you. They will give out hints like search for this one, search for a restaurant or something like that, and flags would be hidden someplace seen enough. So previously, in our capture the flag competition, what happens was like they would the flag of that particular one. I'll explain the flag and all this later on. So let's go on to the other categories of this series. So let's go to forensics. So basically, forensics is kind of like completely separate area of study. So basically, it's actually have kind of real world touch as well, because the police and investigators use these kind of techniques to get the solve crimes and stuff. So forensics, what we do is we get memory dumps and hard drive dumps, and then we examine those things to give out clues. So when criminals, what they do is they try to destroy the evidence, they try to erase the hard drives and move on, trying to escape. But with the techniques of forensics, we can uncover delete the evidence and stuff. So those things are in this side of the category. So another thing is like network traffic. So and network traffic, what they do is like they take a dump, and again the investigation part, we can see what kind of if it's like a man in the middle proxy. So for example, like Burpsuit or something like that, they'll see the traffic and what kind of website they have accessed. And also the log files in the system dictates, every system has it, what files you have accessed and what time you have accessed and who accessed it. So that's a little bit of a great area to go through if you want to go into forensics, like in the crime investigations and all those stuff. And you can see that there are a lot of amazing things happening out there. Cryptography, usually what have been experienced is cryptography is kind of like going through maths and a little bit harder than the other areas of this particular CTFs, because they try to make use of math than algorithmic knowledge a lot. So as a beginner, I would say, yes, go through them, but you'll see more fun in other areas rather than them. But please do so, because cryptography is also a fun way to do those things. So, and other thing is web exploitation. This is like the easiest way to get into CTFs, because you can see what we are trying to do, and like there is a feedback mechanisms and all of that. Binary exploitation, that is that, and reverse engineering, that comes from analyzing your excludable files and stuff. Again, cryptography, binary exploitation, reverse engineering, those are a little bit harder things to do. If you have time, please go through them. But I think mainly focusing on web exploitation and forensics and OS90 kind of fun, more fun for the beginners. So, but for the sake of the challenge, go through them all. Learn a little bit of everything to be able to succeed. So, yeah. So what kind of expectations for the success of CTF? So basically, go from let's say it says for the web, go for web, and then automatically build up your flags and start documenting. So get the smallest ones first. Don't try to exhaust. When it's like 24 hours CTF or something like that, you'll easily get exhausted because you're trying to find everything. Take time and have fun, and don't forget for the write-ups. So at the end, it comes down to actually your communication skills. So it's like a training for soft skills, because at the job as well, as let's say you are you work as a SOC analyst in a in your company, or like threat analysis or something. You need kind of like a documentation skills to actually go get your idea you want to build out there. So it's kind of like great way to practice that while you are in the university. Okay, so let's go for a kind of like a demo on what kind of uh, web application that you are kind of expecting to do, and how I would do that in a particular scenario. So usually in a web application, terms indirect object references. So I'll let you know how to set up your system for this one. See. Okay, so you guys can still see my screen, right?
Yes, you can.
You are seeing the Firefox on Kali Linux?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's go to the Kali Linux website. So this is kind of like a all-in-one tool for actually penetration testing as well. So I think people use it on the job as well. So Kali Linux is like a Linux Debian-based operating system. So, and it has all of the tools kind of like you need to do stuff. So as a beginner, I think it's better to start with something like this. And if you're like a like you're doing this daily, you would do something like installing Ubuntu, and on top of that installing your tools, which I recommend to do so. But as starters, Kali Linux is good enough. And what I would recommend is either do virtual machines. You can do VMware. Now VMware is kind of like a free distribution. Install the virtual machine on VirtualBox or VMware. Or if you're like your laptop or your PC has kind of like a low RAM, or like let's say 8 GB RAM or something like that, it would kind of struggle with this virtual machine stuff. So other one is to use the live boot, which is kind of like a way to install boot from your USB device, and that would give the entire hardware access to the Kali Linux, so they can leverage that particular, let's say you had GB RAM, all of your GB RAM. Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend installing it as your main device, like main OS. So let's say you have Windows, you would remove that and install Kali Linux. People do that, but actually, like it's like giving all of your it has like a lot of tools that can be used maliciously. I mean, it's like giving your entire toolbox to let's say for a hacker if they get access to your system. So that's why I would recommend virtual machine or like USB, because when you turn it off, it turns off. And for the virtual machines, like if they have exploit for that sandbox escape or something like that, then you're done for actually then in that case, but otherwise you're okay. Yeah, so in Linux you have many tools in here. You can see for reconnaissance means like exploring your network. Yeah, and also in it has, so let's say for Bluetooth you can scan your network, and for the DNS we have you can enumerate DNS. And it says, so these are like web scanning. Web scanning means like when you go to the website and you can get the directories of that website, let's say /login/admin. Those things can be done by this one. So it comes with like pre-built pre-packaged tools, so you don't have time, you don't have to find them by individually. But I think, as I said, as you go along with your career, and let's say you want to be a threat analyst or you want to be like a penetration tester, you would, I think, probably install this on your own for the sake of education. And it's kind of to kind of have a lean system of doing things on your own, because this has like a lot of tools sometimes to do the same thing, and there are better tools out there too. So, okay, then uh, as I said, so my favorite setup would be kind of like install burp suite here. So we have burp suite communication I have installed, and with that, my favorite one browser for these kind of things would be Firefox. And set up Foxy Proxy plugin. So if you can note that down right now, I think that would be great. The Foxy Proxy plugin, I installed it so that this browser's traffic goes through the proxy, and then you can do fun things with it. I'll show you. Okay, that is kind of like the basic setup you can do before the CTF. So as I said, to summarize, virtual machines or live boot. So I think they have instructions as well how you can do that. So go through them, and if there's any questions, ask from your colleagues or me if there's any case. Okay, so I have installed another fun application. So what it has is like Juicebox. So this particular application is from the WAPS Foundation. This one is like the kind of like a web security initiative for securing the web. So what they have is WAPS top 10. That's like the top 10 vulnerabilities they are out there in about the security. So we'll go. So they have made the kind of like a vulnerable application to practice the your security skills and kind of like let you know what kind of vulnerabilities out there. So OAuth top 10, let's go for that one. So they have 2025. So these are the kind of like vulnerabilities out there in the web. So they have categorized it. They have said what kind of how would that happen, and they have guidelines to how would like stop doing that from happening. But still, even though there are like a lot of information out there, since his software is being developed by humans, and nowadays a lot of AI is doing that, these things can happen, and knowledge of these things actually can benefit you developing some kind of secure thing applications in the future. Okay, so let's go to that one. Yeah, so I have in the Docker, I have configured that particular application use shop. It's there's a command you can go how to install use shop in Docker and try do stuff. So when it comes to cybersecurity and stuff, a lot of the things are not spoon fed. Sorry if I'm saying that, but a lot of the things you have to go find and through, and there's a like thrill of following that. So I'll for in my experience, like in like 2018 or 2017, there was uh, SL cert did a CTF. So at that time, I was actually still I'm a beginner. There was way beginner at that point of time. Um, so I started similar CTF, going through stuff, doing learning while doing things. That's because I don't know stuff, but still I try to learn. So doing basically like this, like you go to the site and you go view page. So those are the simplest things you can do, but yet like the flag would be like this, like this could be a flag, something like that. So and what would happen was to explore at that point, there was a point that I couldn't go through with the simple things I did. So what I did was, okay, now there are information you can do how this particular website is hosted and where it is hosted, like harness those information. So what did I do was I set up my own and tried to analyze how that it was a Tomcat server. You may already know those kind of stuff, like setting up a Tomcat server. I haven't done that in 2018. At that, I wasn't even in the uni yet. So that kind of like a curiosity mind actually helps a lot when it comes to CTS. So let's go. For the exploring this particular use shop. So I have set up my burp suite community edition, and you can see my um, my burp suite has. I'll refresh this. I'll clear this out and refresh. Delete everything. Yeah, clear that out. Okay, so I'll explain what this does is like I have opened this web browser using you have a and you have burp, you have like inbuilt browser in here. So let me close this one and reopen that again. So you will come when you start burp suite and I have to say how to install burp suite. So Google burp suite community edition, and you can download that particular. This one is free, and uh, it has like inbuilt browser that you can use. It'll open like this, and you can browse anything like this in here, just as your normal browse. What would happen is whatever you are exploring here will get intercepted, and you can see his history in the burp suite. So, okay. So fun thing about this is like you can get like directories, like what kind of files it has been requesting, and you can see the request and the responses, those kind of things. But so the advantage of this, let's say you are doing let's say you are doing something like this, you're going to account and log in. So let's see, you're trying to log in it with min and 1 2 3 4. it would say invalid. But that would be reflected on here. Say, test user, who am I? Socket ID. Okay. We'll do that. Okay, you can see the endpoint, and you'll see that it tries to access it. So what we can actually do is in here in this tool is we have intruder and repeater, and usually you will see these two, intruder and repeater. These are like fun little tools we can use in here. So what intruder does is like it can do like you can add like dictionaries. Let's say you want to do like directory brute forcing. So you want to see user, who am I? You want to see you want to do a random string here. So you can do like add a payload here. You can load a txt file or something like that, and then you can iterate. You can let's say, for example, REST user 1, REST user 2, REST user 3. So though in that way, you'll explore how actual vulnerability called IDO works. That's how you do that. So in the repeater, that's again another tool that in websuite have. We can casually edit whatever we sent in here. So if I send like this, it'll do a for 500, okay, in here 500 survivor. But the fun thing is you can edit the request and send it again. So that's like testing out web applications. So as I said, mainly as you need only like 2 or 3 tools: Websuite and a browser, and probably something like the directory brute forcing application like Diabuster or GoBuster or something like that. With your preference, you can do the web applications. Also, if there's any questions for you, just please ask in chat or something like that. Okay. And you can actually do, say, use you can search write-ups. You can go to any other link that there are. I think probably this one is better. It'll let you know what kind of vulnerabilities are there and how to actually hack that. So there are solutions and there are go-throughs. So I think first, if you're stuck with a challenge or something like that, and it's not like a competitive CTF and doing just for the learning, reading them through is really nice, because sometimes you may solve the problem, but you might miss a certain aspect or using an easier tool to do something. So make it as a learning opportunity and learn from others as well. And that is when it comes to the first thing I said, the communication. So when you have to document everything what you do at the CTF, so when you're documenting, you can share that with others after the CTF ends and it become published, right? Something. So you can share knowledge among your peers, and that's also beneficial. Not to do that is do not share anything while the competition is ongoing or CTF is ongoing. That's unethical in the CTF standpoint. So when it's happening, you might give out a hint or two, but do not give it the entire solutions because it would be unfair to another player. So do not do that kind of stuff, but document everything and share it later on. That explain how you did that. That'll be a great experience for you, and also the other as well. Okay. Okay. Let's go on with. We talked about the web applications, and there are in the web applications the typical SQL injection, kind of like the everyday example is the dash comma or 1 = 1 dash dash. So what would happen is like when when you are doing a kind of like a PHP, and the easiest way to do MySQL query is like concatenation with your variable, right? So when an attacker use kind of like this dash or 1 = 1 kind of thing for the for username, what would happen is like it would become it doesn't make a username match, but since 1 = 1 is kind of true, it selects all from the users. So you can actually go to the ChatGPT and let's say ask ChatGPT to create a SQL injection example. Like, so it's very easy nowadays with what we do in here for share screen a little. Can ask ChatGPT, hi, generate me a vulnerable Python server that is vulnerable to ideas for learning example. So when you leverage kind of like tools like this beforehand, you earlier years you had to do this kind of exercises if somebody has done it before, or like you have to wait till somebody coded this up. Now with the ChatGPT and every tool out there, you can actually practice vulnerabilities, and you can actually this gives out solutions as well, how it's expected, and you can actually do that. So it's kind of like fun how the technology is going through all of this. So you can ask how to do SQL injection in similar way in Python or whatever your language is. Then try to actually secure it. Then okay, this is because SQL injection you haven't passed it sanitized correct. That those kind of things are actually wanted in the industry as well. Okay. Another kind of like very common vulnerability in the web application side is like the cross-site scripting. So what happens is like when usually when there's JavaScript in a website, those would like be in the web page like script within the script tags. So when can attacker can inject something within these tags anywhere in the screen or with the tags itself, it's called like cross-site scripting, because now they can execute JavaScript in your page with their input. So the vulnerabilities now in this particular example, let's say the data will be rendered here, then script alert 1 means like alert would pop in the JavaScript in the browser window. So there's no harm in that. But what can actually happen is they would stall your cookies, and then use, let's say if you have a session cookie or something like that, and it's not HTTP only secured or something like that, they would get stolen, and they can log in as you or somebody else, and let's say do a bank transaction or something like that. So in modern days, now browsers and modern frameworks like web frameworks actually do sanitize these a lot. We don't get uh, a lot of things these days, but it's not zero. I think still the access is kind of like a top. It's in the top 10. So you can imagine that even though the technology has been advanced, these kind of tricks are still being used. Um, other one, so these things are like you can do. What happens is, like, I think Juice Shop has some examples of it. You can try it out. So in this screen, you have the reflected accesses, stored accesses, and command injection, directory traversal. So those things, go to the Juice Shop or any other uh, practice website and then try it out. Do it as the learning. Like learn it from doing it. Sorry. Okay. And other one is okay. We have gone through the web expectation. I'll explain the other one as well while we're going through. So if you heard, there's a platform called TryHackMe. In here we have the advent of cyber in December. Every December they are doing it, and also they have given very good prizes as well each year. So they have like a lot of worth of 1,000 and 50,000 something, 150,000 worth of prizes. So it's kind of free. Then it is beginner friendly, and you have still time to go through, and it's not going to be closed after the December 31st anyway. You can actually go through the previous challenges as well. So in here you can have let's say this particular example, IDO. I have opened it here. IDO as in the indirect object reference. So it's kind of like web vulnerability. So they have given a website, and you can practice your skills in that, and they also like give the walkthrough as well. So you can read that and go through why is it vulnerability and how we're going to do that. It's pretty easy to do, and as you can see, they are giving out hints as well, and you can do a flag at the end. So I think doing this particular advent of cyber will make you actually better CTF player than anything else if you focus on these kind of challenges. So you can see it has everything, XSS, and some SOC analyst basic ones, forensics, um, manual analysis. Those are actually binary exploitations comes around as well. So I'll give you this link in the chat. I think it's recommended to you to learn well. Okay. And also another thing is, if your like PC is kind of like a slow or something like that, they will give you a kind of thing called attack box. And it's like basically a Kali Linux on a web interface, and you can try it out as well. So it's no kind of like hard thing to do. Okay. So yeah. The other one is kind of like a binary exploitation. So now it comes with like reverse engineering, how the programs are being made. So when you do kind of like programming, let's say you do Java, you do let's say C Sharp, C++, at the end of all of that, it becomes kind of like a ones and zeros, right? So these ones and zeros, we can reverse it to assembly pretty easily. And that gives us kind of like a way to identify what the program does. So usually in a CTF, if you got a binary or something like that, what they expect is kind of like uh, if usually they run it the server side, in the server side they give you a server and that particular binary is running. When you get a certain input to the binary, it would give out the flag, but it's like a key. You have to find the key. You have the binary with you, and then you try to match it and try to read it and understand it and try to exploit it. So okay, let's see. So this is kind of like the kind of example on how a C program is shown in assembly. So what it does is like a sum of this is Godbolt, by the way. Godbolt is kind of like a you can compile and see the assembly output in any language. So we can change the language to anything that we want. Basically, you have to change the code as well in that case, and they would give out uh, um the output in the assembly. So you can see like they like in this kind of like for loop, the summation, it would do in the assembly like this, and you can see like loops going on, jumps there, and those are the like basic. And also if you want to learn like how to write optimized software in C and C++, I think this is the kind of way how the like how to see the directly what is being compiled to, and you can see the like compiled optimizations part as well. Though those are like going to be helpful if you are working in a like high performance computing or like high frequency trading, that kind of areas. So this is like the simple C file that has a like string called like etc password. So you can see like there's an entire section in here with that particular information. So that's how the program is being made. So I have the same file in here as in this machine as well. So it's out. So in here is C program Z. You can see like particular this string of this is the program, and I have compiled it to A out. So if you go cat A out, you won't see much of the information. So it would be garbled. So in simple terms, what I want in binary exploitation or something like that, use the strings command on the Linux system. It would give out basically what is every string that particular file has. So you would see somewhere around here that particular string etc password. So in a simple terms, you can find using the basic tools in binary exploitation or reverse engineering by examining the excludable or the file you have given. And another tool is like XSD, that means like show the hex editor basically. So you can see the hex output of that particular file, and you will see the output in here as when it's trying to identify as a string, it will come as a string, and if it's garbage, it will show like this. So those are kind of like basic tools to do this. And also, if you want to go like to go more into this, there's the tool called Gidra. And that was actually made by NSA, so National Security Agency. And they have been giving this tool out. And it's a reverse engineering framework. And it's kind of, it can do a lot of things than the tools I have mentioned. You can install that one and learn a lot from it. Okay. That. Okay. So as I said, so this is like the how do you have to learn how the CPU execute codes in order for these challenges to work on. Nothing. I mean, it'll come as a beginner. You don't have to actually put more focus to it, but if the challenge comes, you have to learn, okay, these are kind of things that you want to do, and try to leverage the help of AI for these kind of challenges, because I think in the beginning we didn't have AI to do these challenges. I think now it is far more easier to leverage those things with the AI. Another kind of like a doing in kind of memory errors in the programs is kind of like out of bound. So let's say you have like a for loop, and you are trying to access something in array of 10, and you try to let's say in your assembly code, you can see that it's trying and end up in the 10th spot in your loop correctly, and you can manipulate that into whatever the memory address you want to access. So let's say you say edit the program and let it access 11, it might give you a flag. So that kind of advanced things are there. Okay. So yeah. And the other areas is like cryptography, forensics, and reverse engineering. Reverse engineering, I talked about it. Forensics, it's kind of like analyzing network traffic, and then again, memory dumps or hard disk images. For talking about cryptography, the basic tools I kind of use is in here. So I do decode.fr. It's kind of like an easy website that can have many ciphers that you can actually decipher. So let's say this is Caesar cipher. You can actually brute force, and you can get the output in here pretty much easily. So in here, you can say decode Caesar. So it's in Caesar cipher, it tries to do the deciphering for yourself. And other fun tool we can use is like CyberChef. So you can put the input kind of like garbage when you get kind of like an input in here. So you can suspect like so usually like the flag is like flag some text. So this might not be as it is. It might come as garbled like this one. So when you put in a CyberChef, and there's called basically magic, it tries to analyze it. So it would try decoding that, and it would give you some output or some hint that this is kind of like this string is maybe a flag or maybe something else. And they have many utilities. You can check them out and see. Okay. So CyberChef and decode of FR that have been helpful in my CTF journey. Yeah. So those things actually are in the when you're using TryHackMe, you can use them as well. So yeah, let's go to so these are like kind of like tools I recommend to do each kind of every challenge. So to reiterate, web proxies, I use Burp Suite. There are Z proxy as well. Z open proxy. Z direct proxy. Z. So this is kind of open source, kind of like a variant for it. This for me, I think Burp Suite is kind of beginner friendly. This is kind of like there's a learning curve for it, but this has been used in the industry as you can see if you're going to be a QA when you're doing security testing, that attack proxy, I have seen that being used in the industry. So I think knowing that beforehand would help you in your future as well. I use Burp Suite, set attack proxy, and for the disassemblers, Gidra, and there's IDA Pro as well. There's a free version, I think version 7.0 for free, and Binary Ninja. There's a free version as well. Gidra is completely free, so I would recommend you choosing that. For debugging, I think GDB, if you can learn it, it's pretty much everything's built on top of GDB. It's very there's a learning curve to it, but if you learn it, that's really good. And for network analysis, Wireshark. So I'll show you Wireshark. So what it has is, so if you open something like this, so you can see the network traffic going through, and what you can usually in the CDF challenge, what would you get is a recorded package of this particular Wireshark. So, and you can see what is being going through with your in your network within your computer, and you can filter it out depending on your source and your destination. That would give out some info. So in kind of like a CDF, you would see traffic between a server, email server versus your hacked client server. Then you would have to go through each and every one, or you can use filters to when you know your email communication happens on a certain port, then you would filter out that information, and then you would go through them, and you would find a flag or a attachment there. So this one you would import and open, or you can open the PCAP files yourself, and you can do exploration. So a lot of these tools have cheat sheets. So you can do like Wireshark cheat sheet. You can leverage those kind of things. So cdfassets.net. Okay, and then you can see these are like filtrations for the Wiresharks, and it's open. Then referring these without like, if you can memorize, that's cool, but you don't have to. So in the CTF, you can leverage these kind of knowledge bases to help in along the way. Okay. So scripting and automation, nowadays actually like beforehand, before the AI, these things was actually kind of like a painful thing to do, because you had to do programming while doing the CTF. So it became like a blocker. But with, I think the AI, this part is kind of like now automated, and like it's pretty easy to do, because previously we had to either read the documentations and do find the correct command and find the correct arguments. So these things were pretty hard. And but uh, but yeah, leverage tools, the AI tools has given, uh, and also document themselves, document what you're trying to do, so you can uh, learn better. So as I said, for data manipulation, CyberChef is better. Okay, so for the CTF, I think when you're building a team for a CTF, I think it's better if there's certain tasks are divided between the team members. So let's say if you have a guy with, if you have a person with more binary reversing knowledge or binary exploitation knowledge, and there is a web guy for doing better web exploitations and stuff, and there's a documentation person dedicated to taking notes and everything, and also helping each other to coordinate. So those kind of building a team is kind of like important when you're doing competitive CDS. So if you want to make a like really good team to continue on doing your university years, I think focusing on that kind of part is really nice. And for the future, I think I will share some of the platforms that you can try. Try Hack Me, definitely recommend it because I think there are lot of free rooms there that you can practice on. And at the advent of cyber is definitely beginner friendly, really good one. And Pico CTF, you can do challenges there. I think if you go Pico CTF, there's a lot of challenges that can do, and they have kind of like a Jeopardy style as well. So I think I have probably go, and there are also resources out there. So try it out. I haven't been using this a while, but I started with Pico CTF also. So you can see there are a lot of categories: general skin, cryptography, web exploitation, binary exploitation, pricing, everything we have talked about in a clear manner. They have it. So you can read them. I think it's pretty easy to read as well, as I can see. So as I said, the cryptography comes with mathematics basics. So those things, go refer, and it's really good. It's okay. Over the wire, practice the Linux skills. I think I can recommend I think we have currently Code Cloud doing 100 days of DevOps and 100 days of AWS, 100 days of Azure as well. So those things, for if you want to go to the cloud space, cloud security, those kind of challenges actually can help. And again, for the intermediate and advanced players, Hack the Box and Valhub. Hack the Box is kind of like a cloud cloud offering of kind of like a vulnerable machines. Valhub is you can download the machines and you can put it on your VMware and run it, and then you can hack it on your own. Would recommend Hack the Box. They have, and also you have like a weekly old boxes as well. So those ones have write-ups, and you can actually read and then do the hacking. Really good experience, would recommend it. And try to be in the first few places in the Sri Lankan flag. Also Asia, we have it Asia and there. And upcoming events, we have CTF times. Those things actually there are open CTFs as well, not just in Sri Lankan ones. you can actually make money in some CDFs, like or some prices, like sometimes there are pawn to own, if you know, giving out Teslas if you hack a Tesla. So those kind of things are there. Yeah. So last thing I want to say is like everyone starts at zero. Even I myself, I don't know everything. Uh, I don't know everything. I pretty much goes with curiosity. So that's what drives me. And I think that's kind of like a big part of being a CDF player. You want to learn, you want to go through with it. It's kind of nice. Yeah. And also it helps you make a be a like better person in every way. So I think everybody is doing something related to IT at this point. And you whatever your job you do, either it's a programmer or a QA or a PM or BA, that this kind of practice makes you to think, okay, what kind of security are we kind of embedding into this? Like what would happen if somebody do this, that kind of things. So I think that particular detail is pretty much important when you become a better person at the industry. And if you're trying to do the security side of your career, if you're going to do security, is either threat analyst or SOC analyst, you have to do these ways, practicals. These are like the practical aspects of things, and make sure that you are practicing your communication skills as well, writing and speaking, getting your point across. So I think that would be the end of my session today. I hope you guys have learned some things. And you guys have any questions, please ask now. You can use the chat or you can unmute, I think, and ask. It would be related to this session, or it would be anything that you want to know about the industry or anything happening that you want to know. I will answer best of my ability. Yeah, ask away questions.
Thank you, Mr. Vassala, for that insightful and practical session. We now have time for questions. So guys, feel free to ask about anything on CDF workflows, tools, and practice platforms, or how to get started and improve consistently. So you can unmute and ask any questions you have, and you can use the chat section also. So this time is for you.
Okay, Nadia, okay. See how serious skills are beneficial in the industry. So let's say you are let's say you're a programmer, yeah, your skill is software engineer or full stack software engineer. So particular details is you know how to, okay, if you code an endpoint, if you're basically doing mostly REST APIs in your life, or GraphQL APIs if you are in that tech space. So when you code an endpoint, you know, okay, if you do it in this particular way, particular vulnerability will be introduced, because you have practiced that in your CTF when you're doing CTFs. So you can ask questions whether if this can happen. Sometimes if sometimes it can be handled by, let's say, when you're developing with the when you're doing professional software, you're developing with a lot of big teams, right? And a lot of big applications. Sometimes it can be missed. Sometimes what you're pointing out can be beneficial. So there's no such, let's say, when you're working with as in the industry as a developer, the web CTF skills are much beneficial. But the idea of, let's say, cryptography, that kind of things, and that kind of knowledge is actually beneficial, because lot of the, in mostly we don't know how cryptography works, right? We just use bcrypt, something library bcrypt, and hash and do, and forget about it, because that's the industry what we are going to. But if you read the recent news on how Okta was kind of in a huge scandal, because of the password was limiting for 2 characters, 72 characters, 73 characters or something, because they didn't check how that particular cryptography algorithm works. So the idea is to not just about being in the CTF space, but in the security aspect as well. So you read about the security news. You are when you're doing the daily, you refresh your Facebook, right? Just as that, you refresh your security related websites. So, for example, Hacker News, or uh, the TechCrunch, or anything that comes up with RSS feed or something like that for dedicated to security, you will see that. And if you know, recently React server-side components got pretty much major vulnerability, that they had to do patches twice. So those kind of information comes on when you do this kind of things, because that particular, let's say, for the React server-side vulnerability, you use that particular information to build your next CTF application. So that's how the learning happens. So yeah, I think that answers my question. Do you need, Nadia, do you need more information? Do you? Okay. So one thing I want to tell you is, when you're going as a beginner, don't be overwhelmed. The journey will be slow. I would guarantee you, journey will be really slow. And use the tools, the AI, the future and the current situation provides. So AI has been a lot of helpful. As I said, you can actually do a vulnerable application just by a prompt, and then try to break it. This kind of scenario wasn't there 3 or 4 years ago. So you guys can practice better than my generation and my previous generation. So you guys can be better developers, better CDF players because of this one. So leverage that information, like, be better. Okay, I have some, sorry. Okay. Ayanga with mini, Anga. Okay. How hard or easy to start a career in cybersecurity and SL? What are the qualification we need to enter the field? Haven't seen much opportunities in LinkedIn. Yeah, that is true. So I think prestigious ones would be Cisco, if I'm telling names, Cisco, LSEG, and IT has kind of like cybersecurity, I think, opportunities. You have to be updated. Like, let's say you are the second year student or first year students, try what company, like, always go to job search on LinkedIn and try the opportunities that are opening right now, because you'll be applying in like next 2 or 3 years. So you'll see, if you see a company, note it down, right? Okay, let's say some company XYZ is getting hiring a threat analyst or something like that. And yes, you are saying the truth. In SL, there's not a lot of opportunities out there. And also, when you talk about globally, that is also true compared to the developer jobs. But that doesn't mean that it won't happen. Uh, if you make it, if you target yourself in that space, do the research, do it every day. I think that's the only advice I can give, because now the current situation of the job market is also in kind of uncertain state. So there's not a lot of uh, the green lights on as it used to be on the industry. So you have to be, one thing, upskilled and do the research as well. So as I said, if you're a second year, first year, third year students, you'll be in the industry. Let's say you're targeting your next year or the year next 2 years. So what would happen? What I would suggest is, like, do the research right now, target what you're going to do, and then plan accordingly. And yeah, I think I answered my question. I think for the general answers in career and cybersecurity, I think would be kind of hard. So that's kind of like the truth. I think for software engineering as well, it's kind of hard, but I think that would be harder because not a lot of people need cybersecurity uh, persons in their team. So Jaivir, as a beginner, what kind of programming languages should I know as per experience? So in my experience, this is my own advice. So take it with a grain of salt. Everything that I said, take it with a grain of salt and do your own research. Something with what I would suggest at this time is kind of like a Python, uh, and go for the kind of like a cutting edge programming languages, and .NET Core and Java for kind of like legacy applications as well. So those four, I don't think there will be shortage, and there's kind of like a stable marketplace as well. So from the four things, take two, like uh, Java or and Go, or like .NET and Python, that will bring you to a state you can apply kind of like 60-70% in the current market. But do your own research, so because times can change, times are changing pretty fast. So go to the LinkedIn ad in the job sections, and you can see what kind of for a junior developer or intern, what kind of qualifications they are trying to see. Okay, Indora Utsara asking what kind of categories come to GenZipher CTF hackathon. I think that can be answered by the OC.
What's the question?
What kind of CDF categories that GenZipher has?
I think we mentioned it in the introductory session as well. So mainly we primarily focus on reverse engineering and forensics as well as crypto. And we may actually test like a fun mix kind of challenges as well with stenography and like basic concepts in security as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that way, you can practice those kind of skills. Basically asking ChatGPT first, and then try to do those kind of things if you can see it on the Try Hack Me or any other beginner friendly space. So, and okay. Okay. So I have a question like something that Lehan went through. A few days ago, my Insta got hacked, even though I have 2FA and didn't even get a notice. Then found out a file called Trojan using Windows Defender. Probably got it trying to install a cracked software. How would I investigate something like that? Is it a script running or stealing my browser? So, investigative purposes, I think first thing you would, when you got hacked or something like that, first thing you would want to do is wipe out and everything and get to a clean state before compromising any other things. And if you found a file, let's say you have like exe or suspicious things, you can do something like this. You can put it into a VirusTotal, or there's a virustotal.com, and you can scan that and identify whether it's actually a virus or not. And you can use any.run, if I remember correctly. That has like a virtual space that you can run the application and see what it does. So, and also if you go to any.run, you can see the executables that others have been published as well. So you can see what the and you can download them as well if you want to sometimes. And you can see what the Trojans are doing, what the malware is doing to your system, and what they're trying to access and stuff. They would give out in a much nicer interface. And those are like malware analysis is a totally different part of the kind of like security space, and it's really fun. And if you have a dream just to do something like that, I think really go for it. And you can actually work in some great names in the software security industry, like when you have that kind of experience, let's say Malwarebytes or Kaspersky, those guys hire those kind of talent that actually do those things. It's kind of one of my dreams too, but let's see. Hirant is asking, can you provide a recording of this? I think that can be also answered by OC.
Yeah, well, right.
So, Dinep Dimsara is asking, cybersecurity job market is good in Sri Lanka. My opinion is cybersecurity job market is kind of like a smaller portion in the software industry and compared to software industry. So the jobs will be much harder to do, much harder to find. But I think if you have the skills and if you practice constantly and you have bring value. So one thing you can do is brush up your communication skills. Write a blog for your CTFs, and let's say you do if you do let's say for fun you do malware analysis. Write a blog for it. Let's say you write a blog. I analyze this one. These are my findings. This is how I did it. So over time, you will have like a record of your doings, and you can actually, and you have practical knowledge as well doing stuff. Those kind of things speaks volume in rather than doing some certificates. So I think you need both. So you have to keep the balance out. So not just doing certificates and stuff. So consistency and keep doing that particular practice is the answer for the cybersecurity job, I think. Yeah. Okay. I think if you guys have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. But I think we can wrap it up. There isn't. And please don't be hesitant to contact me. You can contact me through LinkedIn or yeah, LinkedIn is good enough. You can contact me through LinkedIn, ask questions, and I'll be happy to help. I think there's no stupid questions to be asked, to be honest. So everybody start at some point, and let today be that particular day.
Okay, so once again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Pasal Vishwajit for leading Flag Hunting 101. Your clarity, industry perspective, and structured approach made this session extremely valuable for all of us. And thank you so much for your time and effort in making this workshop a success. So, yes, here's our small token of appreciation for now, for your contribution so far. So now, guys, this space is for taking a picture of the workshop. So I kindly invite all of you to apply the virtual background we have provided in the delegate group, and we'll take the picture after 2 minutes. So guys, I kindly request all of you to switch on your cameras. Now we are getting ready to take the picture. Okay, now I'll give a count. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I'll give another count. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. So here's what's coming up next in your GenZipher journey. So there will be workshop 2 on AI, and there will be an online selection round on 11th January. So keep practicing CTFs and applying what you learned today. And stay connected with GenZipher updates and the CSS Agency chapter. So more learning opportunities are on the way. Now don't forget our next workshop, as I said. So the workshop will be on AI agents, and it will be on 2nd January. So make sure you mark your calendars. So it's going to be an exciting one. We are looking forward to do an exciting event. So thank you everyone for being an amazing audience today. So let's continue learning, exploring, and pushing our boundaries together, and have a great evening and happy flag hunting. Thank you.